Good morning, everybody. Um, I hope everybody's doing okay. Today's word comes from Amos chapter 2, verse 11 and 12. It says, I raised up some of your sons as prophets, and some of your young men as Nazarites. Is it not so, O children of Israel? Says the Lord. But you gave the Nazarites wine to drink and commanded the prophets, saying, Do not prophesy. Now, this passage called my attention because I started thinking, how many times has God given me something and I completely reject it? Or somebody comes with an opportunity for me to be used in God's kingdom, or an opening door, a door that God is opening in my life, and I completely ignore it or I laugh at it, like Sarah did when the Lord said that she was going to get pregnant at age 90. How many times have I done like the people of Israel, where the Lord gave them prophets and gave them Nazarites, but they went and perversed their ways? They told the prophets to stop prophesying. They told the Nazarites that they could drink wine, and they started giving them wine. So how many times in my life have I done this? For instance, every time that I'm in church, that I don't have my kids with me in church, somebody asks, where are your kids? And I always say, they're with my mom or they're with whoever. And I say, thank God I'm free. These are the things I'm talking about. My kids are my treasure. I always say that my son came to my life to bring me meaning, and my daughter came to my life to bring me joy. She's funny. But every time somebody asks, I try to joke around and I say, that I'm free. But these are my treasures. These are little people in my life that God gave me as treasures. They were gifts. Or sometimes, somebody asks me to pray or do something, and I just laugh at it, or I say, yeah, right. But maybe God is trying to use me, or to teach me something during the process, to use me in a further way. So how many times has, for example, somebody said, oh, they're hiring at this place, and you say, oh, but I don't qualify for that. And you completely dismiss an opportunity that you're getting. You completely dismiss a gift that maybe God is giving you. And you're giving wine to the Nazarites, and you're telling the prophets to stop prophesying because you don't recognize who the source is. You don't recognize that the ones who gave you these things, who gave you your children, who gave you your job, who's giving you that opportunity, who's giving you that open door, who's closing that door, is the Lord. And so you start perversing your opportunities. You start perversing their ways with little jokes, with rejections, with saying, no, I'm not qualified, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, or making jokes about your kids that you feel like you're free because you don't have your kids with you, like I do. And here's the thing, if the Lord gave it to you, you should take that opportunity. You should recognize the source, where it's coming from, and be thankful for it. Stop making jokes. This is something more for me than it is for anybody else. But stop making jokes about your kids not being with you. Stop rejecting before you even apply to that job. Stop saying no or laughing at certain opportunities, because maybe that's a gift that God is giving you. That's something that God is putting in your hands to maybe use you, to maybe direct your steps. God gave the prophets to the people of Israel to guide their steps. This was a way that the people of Israel knew that God was speaking to them, knew what was in God's hearts was through the prophets. And if they're telling the prophets not to prophesy, because I'm thinking that these prophets are saying something that they don't like, but who gets injured at the end? Who is what is this negative at the end towards? Themselves. Because sometimes we don't like to, feel rejected. So maybe you go to that job and maybe you don't qualify, and they say that you don't qualify, but you at least tried. Maybe you go pray for somebody and you make a complete fool of yourself because you keep confusing your words and stuff, like I am doing right now in this video. So what? So at least you tried. You know the points in your life that you have to get better, that you have to work on. And this is the people of Israel too. God gave them prophets to guide their steps, but of course they didn't like what the prophets were saying to them, and so they rejected it. They started telling the prophets to stop prophesying, right? Because they didn't like it. And the ones who ended up suffering at the end were the people of Israel. It wasn't God, it was the people of Israel, because it was something to help them. If you don't get that opportunity, if you don't get that job, if you don't get that person you're trying to conquer their hearts or whatever, but at least you tried. At least you know where you're failing, where you can get better. You get that direction that you need, that unfortunately the people of Israel were rejecting. So this week I encourage you to look at your own life. Look at little details that you make a joke and you try to put it to the side. You try to reject. You try to say that you're not good enough. Make a little joke about your weight, maybe. You're maybe making a joke about your circumstances, but truthfully, you know that there's something wrong. You know that it's not true, and you're still making jokes about it. So look into your life, the little things that, the words that you're using for yourself, for the people around you that you love. Because, for instance, every time I make a little joke saying that I am free without them, which mamas out there, please, you understand what I mean, right? But every time I make a little joke, it seems like I don't love my kids. It seems like they're a burden to me, and they're not. I love spending time with them. I love my kids. But every little joke that I make seems like they're a burden, like they're stressing me out, like they're, like that I can't take them anymore, and that's not true. And so these are little details in our lives that, even though we're making jokes and we know it's not true, or we're rejecting, and we know it's a fear of commitment, it's a fear of talking in front of people, it's a fear, whatever, that you're getting the opportunity for. Even what you're telling yourself starts shaping your mind, and you start believing those things. You start believing that you're not good enough for that job. You start believing that you do have a weight problem, even though before you thought you were completely fine. I start believing that my kids are a burden to me, even though I know they're not. So be careful what you're telling yourself. Be careful not to be rejecting a gift that God has given you, something that God has put in your hands, an opportunity for growth even. Be careful, because the source is the Lord, and you may be rejecting the very source that's going to bring you joy at the end, the very thing that you've been asking for a really long time. So God bless you this week, and I hope you meditate in that word. If you have, guys, any questions, concerns, ideas, or idea for a better opening to these videos, because this is awkward, please let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you so would like. Share this video again if you so would like. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.